Hello folks, and welcome to my course on fixing compiling issues within Scrivener. Now, this is not going to be a comprehensive course in the sense that I'm going to go over every little feature within Scrivener itself. This is more of a course dealing with issues that I have found within Scrivener while trying to compile books a certain way to my liking. And I'm going to use the examples that I've been working on with my series of books entitled Smart Focus, which I've recently published the second issue of the second book in the series. And what I'm going to do first is go ahead and open up Scrivener with this. Now, this is the window that deals with my Smart Focus Book 2. And what you're going to notice is I've got book 2 on the bottom and Book 1 on the top. And I'm using the split editor to do that, which is found up here. Now, I've got the most recent compile I did was of Smart Focus Book 2, and so I'm using that as a reference. And I'm going to start with the print issues first, because that's the last compile that I made. And so let's go ahead and start with that. We're going to go ahead and go to, I've got on the bottom, I've got the print book here, and the Smart Focus 2 front matter on the bottom, and I've got the print book of the Smart Focus book title page here on the top. Now, the first thing to make it consistent, I noticed that book 2 is mentioned as title page, so I'm going to go ahead and change that up here for book 1. What I'm doing is I'm basically filling in the gaps of what I've learned with book 2 and making book 1 similar. I really need to go back and reformat that, because when I began with book 1, I was really new to this whole process of compiling and everything, and I just wanted to get it out there. Well, I spent a little more time on book 2, and I've learned a lot of tricks specifically with compiling, and that's what I want to go over today. Now, the first thing I want to go over is saving compiling presets, because this is very important. This is actually, I opened this on a different computer than what I've been working on. I'm using my Mac Mini to work on for this video demonstration, and I was working on the book itself on my MacBook Air laptop. So I had to transfer it over here, and with that I needed to make sure I was able to transfer my 2 compile settings that I've most recently created within Scrivener. And the way you do that is you go to, you click the compile button, you go to Format as, Manage Compile Presets. Now, you may have a summary when you open yours. That's fine. To access this area, you need to go to All Options, Manage Compile Presets. And here's where you'll actually save your own. As you go along, you'll save your own preset. You'll click the Add button here, and you'll save your own presets. And these are the ones that I actually imported from my laptop. So what you do is you import, and then you'll find where those are located. Now, you can use Dropbox or a USB flash drive, or transfer some of these files via Wi-Fi over from one Mac to the other. That's the version that I'm using, is a Mac version of Scrivener. And so I transfer those over, and then I've located those, and I clicked on those, and I'll click import here. And what it does is it will import this into your Manage Compile Format presets. And anytime you need to update this, if you make a change within compile window, you would go back to this area, and you would go to Manage Compile Format Presets, and say I'd made a change to General Print Compile. I would go to this and I'll click Update. Anytime you make a change, definitely go back and click Update. Okay, so that is importing. And if you need, like if you made a change here and you needed to update that change on a different computer, you go back and then you would export this, put it on your other computer, go back within Scrivener, import it. I know it's kind of a little bit of work, but it's definitely worth it when you finally found a system that works. Okay, so let's go back to, I'm going to go back to my Smart Focus General Print Compile. Now, I'm named this General because within the series, I want to be able to use this across all of the series. And I finally got it the way I'd like to have it, okay? So right now, we have it to where I've got all this here, but there's nothing in the manuscript just yet, because I've got to go back and change some of that stuff. So let's just give you an idea of what I'm going to work on here. So I need to make sure that this matches the format for this. So let's look at the font size and different things like that. So I've got 24 for both of these. And the spacing itself is 1.2 for this, okay? And I go to other here, and I can see that that's what the spacing is up here. So this needs to be the same. It's 1.2. Good deal. This is a bigger size, I can tell. That's 14, so let's go ahead and change that to 18. This is 16. That is 16. Now you notice this is kind of scrunched up a little bit. This is not, so I'm going to fix the lettering on that. So this is all 16. This is all 16. Now let's go ahead and fix the lettering on that. And we're going to go to text. Actually, I think it's font. Yes, I'm going to go to Kern and use the default for that. That way it'll spread that out. So everything looks fine there. My name is 15. My name down here is 14. It should be 15. And if you can't find the size you're looking for, just go to Font Panel, and it will pull it up, and you can change it within the Font Panel here. One other thing I wanted to mention is when you're compiling, you definitely want to try to make everything look universal. So what you want to do first is go through your front matter pages. For example, I'll use the front matter from my latest compile, the front matter from my first compile, and try to make the first one look as much like the second one as I can. That way the series itself will be more universal. Not that I'm going to type in the text and everything, but I'm going to make everything look the same. Now, what you'll notice here is this is in blue. That's because I've elected to go to Formatting, Preserve Formatting, so that on this document, everything within here will be preserved and nothing within the compile setting will change that. Now, I wouldn't recommend using that a lot, but it's definitely helpful for certain areas that you want to work with. Like if you're using the formatter within the compile and you're saying that I want everything to look like this within my text, I want everything to be looking like this. Well, if you have a certain area that you don't want it to look like that and you want to preserve that, then you would just highlight that area, go to Format, Formatting, Preserve Formatting, and it will maintain that formatting for you. It won't change the font sizes. It won't change any of the justification, the alignment, or anything like that. That's very important. So go through and make sure that everything tries to look as close as possible to the most recent compile as you can for your first book as it does the second book. Now what I'm going to have to do is a lot of busy work going through all the first areas of my first book here, which is Smart Focus Book 1. I'm going to have to go through these areas and address some of the issues that I found in my second book. And we'll go over that as well in some later videos.